The note was simple. A torn scrap of yellowed paper stuck between the pages of an old, dust-covered book. Do not open this book. Jenna almost laughed when she found it. She was alone in the library, finishing up a late-night research session. The storm outside rattled the windows, rain hammering against the glass. She had been flipping through random shelves, running her fingers along the spines, when this one book caught her eye. It had no title, no author, just a black leather cover cracked with age, and the note, "Do not open this book." Her fingers hesitated. It was probably a joke, or some old prank left by a student years ago. And yet, the ink on the note looked fresh. Jenna swallowed, glancing around. The library was empty, just her, and the endless aisles of books stretching into darkness. She should put it back. She should walk away, but she didn't. She opened it. The first page was blank, so was the second, and the third. She flipped faster. Nothing, just empty, yellowed pages. Her stomach sank. Had she really expected something to happen? She sighed, shaking her head at herself, and a single word appeared, right in the middle of the page. "Hello." Jenna's breath hitched. Her fingers went numb, the book suddenly feeling too heavy in her hands. The ink was moving. More words bled across the page, forming shaky, uneven letters. "Who are you?" Jenna slammed the book shut. Her heart was pounding. This wasn't possible. The ink had appeared as she was looking at it. Her pulse thudded in her ears. Maybe she was tired. Maybe she imagined it. Slowly, she opened the book again. A new sentence had appeared. "Don't turn around." Her breath caught in her throat. The hairs on the back of her neck rose. The room was silent. Too silent. Something in her gut screamed at her not to move, not to look. The words changed. "It sees you." A chill raced down her spine. The library lights flickered. Then, a soft creak behind her. Jenna's lungs locked. Someone was there. No, not someone. Something. The air shifted, like the room itself was breathing. The book in her hands shuddered. The pages flipped wildly on their own, faster and faster until they stopped. A final sentence. "Run!" Jenna didn't hesitate. She bolted. Shelves blurred past her as she sprinted down the aisle. The lights flickered violently, plunging the library into flashes of black and pale yellow. Behind her, the sound of pages tearing. No, not pages. Something else. Something chasing her. The door was ahead. She could make it. She was almost there. Then the lights went out completely. Total darkness. Jenna skidded to a stop, heart slamming against her ribs. Then, breathing right in front of her. The air turned ice cold. Her shaking fingers reached for her phone. The screen glowed weakly, casting a pale light and illuminating a face. Not human. Too close. Too wide. Too hungry. It smiled. Jenna screamed. The phone clattered to the ground, screen shattering. The last thing it illuminated was the book, lying open on the floor. The ink shifting, writing something new, a new name. Your name. Jenna's scream barely left her throat before the darkness swallowed her whole. Her body felt weightless, falling, sinking, dissolving into the void. Then, silence. Not just quiet. Not just the absence of sound. A suffocating nothingness. She tried to move. Her arms wouldn't respond. Her legs weren't there. Panic clawed at her chest. She wasn't standing in the library anymore. She wasn't anywhere. Then, the whispering began. Soft at first. A gentle hiss. A flicker of voices. Then, closer. Too close. The words slid against her skin, worming into her ears. She still couldn't see, but she could feel them, something brushing against her arms. Too many hands, too many fingers. Then a voice, not loud, not deep, inside her head. Turn the page. Jenna's heart stopped. A book floated in front of her. It opened on its own. ink shifting wildly across the pages, forming words before her eyes. She recognized the handwriting, her own. The words described her exactly as she was now. Jenna, trapped, suspended in the dark. Jenna, heart racing, breath shallow. Jenna, still holding the book. Her fingers curled. She wasn't holding anything. She wasn't real anymore. But the book disagreed. The words on the next page shifted. Jenna blinks. She did. Jenna opens her mouth to scream. She did. But no sound came. The book was writing her, and she was obeying. Tears burned her eyes. "This isn't real. This isn't real." The words twisted, responding to her thoughts. "It is real." She squeezed her eyes shut. Jenna tries to escape. She felt herself being pulled deeper. Then, something ripped. The book in front of her shuddered violently. Pages tore, ink spilling out like thick black veins, reaching for her, dragging her inside. The whispering turned into screams. The voices weren't just around her anymore. They were inside her. The book flipped to the final page. There was only one word left. Goodbye. Jenna's body collapsed, sinking into the ink. And then she was gone. The library remained silent. The lights flickered back on. And at the center of the room, resting between the fallen books, a single copy remained, black leather cover, cracked with age. The pages fluttered weakly, the ink settling into a new story. A new name. Yours. The words are still moving. Even now, even as you read this, but be careful. Because if you look away even for a second, you might see the book sitting next to you, waiting for you to turn the page. Do you dare? They say the book only takes those who open it. But what if reading about it is enough? If your name was inside, would you check? Let me know in the comments if you're still here.